Alright, we're going to come down to midpoint. And midpoint, I gotta say, is a lot easier than distance. It's basically just the average of the x's and the y's, but let's talk about a few things first. Alright. It says the midpoint of a line segment is a point that divides a segment into two segments that have the same length. Alright. And I'll show you that down here. There's marks that we use for that. A line, a ray, or a figure that passes through the midpoint of a segment is a segment bisector. And a segment bisector cuts something in half. So in this one, we'll notice that, look, tick marks, that's these marks right here, show that PM and MQ are the same length. Therefore, M is the midpoint of PQ, M is in the middle of these two, and line L bisects PQ. It cuts it in half. Alright. You can use a paper folding method to construct a bisector, and I'll show you that sometime. Alright. So down here, we have the midpoint formula, which is basically all you do is you take your x's, you add them together and divide it in half, and take your y's, add them together and divide it in half. It's totally easy. So if I was going to get the midpoint, so the midpoint of this right here, this is PQ, I'd take my x's, -4 and 2, I'd add them together and divide it in half. I'd take my y's, 1 and -3, add them together and divide it in half. And I would get -1, that's -2 divided by 2, and -1, that's also -2 divided by 2. This guy right here wants the midpoint, so my midpoint is equal to my x's, 3 plus -3 divided in half, and my y's, 5 plus -1 divided in half, and I get 0, 2. There they are. I would like you guys to do a couple more without me, 13 and 14, and we'll talk. Alright. That concludes our notes for this day, and I will see you tomorrow.